and welcome the administration, faculty, and students of the College of Dental Medicine's class of 2026.
Please be seated. Good evening and welcome students, faculty, professional staff, family, friends, and members of the local dental community. Whether you are with us today in person or viewing our live stream, I would like to sincerely thank you for joining our annual White Coat ceremony to honor our college's 10th entering class, the class of 2026. My name is Nikki Kimmis, and I have the great privilege and honor of serving as the Dean of the University of New England College of Dental Medicine. I am delighted to be here this evening to commemorate this very special day in the academic and professional lives of our student colleagues. At this time, I would like to recognize the members of our platform party. As I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Guests, please hold your applause until all members have been introduced. Dr. Michael Truscott, Associate Clinical Professor and CDM Faculty Assembly Chair. Dr. Jay Boscheman, Associate Clinical Professor and Group Practice Leader for the Denmark Group Practice. Dr. David Kerr, Maine Dental Association Treasurer. Dr. Hillary Creed, Class of 2018 Alumna. Dr. Albert Abina, Assistant Dean for Community Partnerships and Interim Associate Dean of Clinical Education and Patient Care. Dr. Yang Kong, Associate Clinical Professor and Department Chair of Restorative and Clinical Sciences. Dr. Mohammed El-Sahi, Assistant Clinical Professor and Department Chair of Preventative, Pediatric, and Community Dentistry and Research Coordinator. Dr. Courtney Shapira, Associate Clinical Professor and Department Chair of Clinical Comprehensive Care and Group Practice Leader for the Farmington Group Practice. Mr. Joshua Golden, President of the Class of 2023, and student trustee. We are so pleased to have you all play a role in our ceremony this evening. Thank you for helping us to mark this important milestone. Please be seated. We are also joined by many of our outstanding and committed faculty and professional staff. I invite the faculty and professional staff that are with us today to please stand to be recognized. Students, please do not hesitate to reach out to these incredible individuals during your time with us. This is the only time in your life that you will be surrounded by so much dental expertise at the same time. These individuals have so much to offer to you in support of your success. Thank you, faculty and professional staff, for being here this evening in support of our student colleagues. 7 volunteers from our class of 2025 are assisting with today's ceremony. Will our student volunteers please stand? We appreciate you giving up your Friday evening of studying to be with us tonight. Thank you. Family members, significant others, friends, and mentors here with us today or joining us online. Without you, our students would not be here. Your continued love, support, coaching, and encouragement have been instrumental to them during their journey. I would like to ask that our class of 2026 students please rise and face the audience. Class of 2026, please join me in thanking your supporters for all that they have done for you. Just as you have made sacrifices to get here, they too have made many sacrifices. I can see and feel just how proud of you they are. It's fun to watch when you walk in and your family see you and your friends and start waving at you. So please be seated. Before I deliver my message to the class, I'd like to take a moment to recognize all the veterans here with us today. If you are a veteran celebrating with us, please stand or raise your hand. Thank you for your selfless service to this country to protect our freedoms. We admire your courage and are forever grateful for your sacrifices. Thank you. Class of 2026, how wonderful it is to be gathered here this evening to honor and celebrate all of you in the presence of your special guests. The first full-fledged white coat ceremony took place at Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons in New York on August 20th, 1993. The white coat ceremony was a way to welcome students to the profession and highlight the importance of humanism in the care of all patients. The first dental white coat ceremony was held in the mid-1990s at the Arthur A. Degoni School of Dentistry. Prior to this, dental students were traditionally welcomed into the profession upon graduation from the program. Student colleagues, you have all made a conscious decision to seek the privileges and responsibilities of a dental professional. Today is a very special day. Today is the day that we welcome and recognize you as a member of the dental profession early in your dental education. This evening's ceremony marks the beginning of a lifelong professional and educational journey in which you are making a commitment to being a healthcare provider. After you receive your white coat today, you will be given a copy of the Ethics Handbooks for Dentists, an introduction to ethics, professionalism, and ethical decision-making. This is provided to you by the American College of Dentists. The mission of the American College of Dentists is to advance excellence, ethics, professionalism, and leadership in dentistry. Let me say those important words again. Excellence, ethics, professionalism, and leadership. As you read this book, I encourage you to reflect on how you will be a dental professional in the truest sense of the term. Your primary obligation is service to your patients. How will you place the interest of your patients above that of yourself? You must adopt and practice the highest ethical standards. How will you maintain a solid ethical foundation and commitment to abide by our profession's code of ethics? You must be dedicated to improving public health. How will you use your expertise and skills to improve the health of your community and beyond? You must be devoted to lifelong learning. How will you provide your patients with the very best care in a profession that is continually evolving? I don't expect you to have the answers to these questions tonight. After all, this is only the start of your journey. You have chosen a noble profession. Discover your personal passion. Stay humble, be kind, practice empathy, be competent, be curious, know your limitations, and do not compromise your integrity. I'll conclude with a quote by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. Class of 2026, congratulations to each one of you as you solidify your commitment to the dental profession today. Thank you for choosing UNE to embark on your professional journey. We are very proud of you. Our Provost, Dr. Gwendolyn Mahan, is unable to attend this evening and asks that I share her remarks on her behalf. Good evening, class of 2026, family, friends, and loved ones. I regret being unable to attend in person, but I am certainly with you in spirit tonight for this benchmark event that welcomes you to the dentistry profession and recognizes your commitment to exemplify the highest standards of integrity and care. Tonight's white coat ceremony is a symbolic representation of your commitment to the patients you will serve and to the ethical principles of the dentistry community. This event is also to celebrate you and your achievements thus far in becoming a member of the UNE College of Dental Medicine community, a community that plays a critical role in Maine and beyond. Last, this recognizes that many ways that your family and friends have supported you thus far in your journey into dentistry. Congratulations, class of 2026. At this time, I would like to introduce our alumni speaker, Dr. Hillary Creed. Dr. Creed is a graduate of the class of 2018. After graduating dental school, Dr. Creed completed an oral and maxillofacial surgery internship at the University of Pennsylvania and is currently in the 4th year of an oral and maxillofacial surgery residency at Tufts University School of Dental Medicine in Boston. While at UNE CDM, Dr. Creed represented her class as student government president, served as student trustee to the Board of Trustees, participated in the Interprofessional Education Collaboration, and was inducted into the Omicron Kappa Upsilon Dental Honor Society, the highest honor we award to our graduating students. I would like to share a short story about Dr. Creed. Recently, while I was on a tour in the oral surgery clinic during a visit to Tufts, someone noted that a UNE graduate was in her 4th year of the program there and proceeded to speak very highly of her. I said, "You must be speaking about Dr. Hillary Creed," and he continued to say great things. Needless to say, I was not surprised. As we continued walking through the clinic, I heard someone behind me say, "Dr. Kimmis?" And I turned to see Dr. Creed. She greeted me with a warm smile and a big hug, and the entire tour had a pause so that we could catch up. It was definitely the highlight of my visit, and I'm so pleased that she is here with us today during this momentous occasion for our student colleagues. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Creed to the podium.
Good evening. My name is Hillary Creed. Thank you for the introduction, Dr. Kimmis. As she mentioned, I'm a UNE CDM graduate of 2018. Thank you all very much for inviting me to speak this evening. I am honored to be back amongst the UNE community, but most importantly, I'm excited to help celebrate you, the UNE College of Dental Medicine class of 2026, as you transition from the preclinical aspect of your education to the clinical portion of your training. June 2023 will mark 5 years since I graduated from dental school, making my white coat ceremony slightly less than 8 years ago. I vividly remember the first day of orientation in 2014. I was nervous, but excited for my first day. I was anxious to meet my classmates, but eager to find out what was going to be happening to me for the next 4 years. I must admit, I was also incredibly insecure about the journey that lay ahead, as I was initially waitlisted to join the UNE CDM class of 2018. When I was admitted from the waitlist, I could not have been happier for the opportunity to finally pursue my dream. But not initially being admitted left me with some lingering self-doubt. I lacked confidence in my own abilities and questioned my place amongst my peers. I was timid in the classroom and the simulation clinic, concerned about my ability to succeed in these settings. The first few weeks flew by, and I began to realize that by questioning my place at UNE, I was holding myself back from success, and that I would have to redirect my energy in order to cultivate the positive and productive experience I wanted from my education. I focused on being a more active participant in the classroom and on campus. I started to engage more in discussions within my courses and ask questions even if I was intimidated by the material. I became a more active participant in the interprofessional graduate events, though the anxiety of balancing extracurricular activities with academic success was weighing on me. As I gained confidence in myself academically and as a member of my student community, I began to seek out the opportunity to advocate for my classmates as class president and in turn as the representative on the UNE Board of Trustees as a student. I took my experience of self-doubt as an opportunity to approach my insecurities directly, push past my own inner voice telling me I did not belong, and succeed. Little by little, every opportunity I took to navigate through my insecurities accrued the evidence that proved to me that I was worthy of being a graduate student at UNE. The day that the challenges I faced were not going to find me or my educational experience was the day I started to succeed academically and within my community. I'm sharing this with all of you because I need you all to know that you are worthy of being here. We all come to this space with various backgrounds and life experiences, but you belong in this class. Do not allow self-doubt to prevent you from living up to your full potential as a dental student. Class of 2026. Today is the day you receive your white coats. This day signifies a major turning point in your education, as you now take on the clinical responsibility of ethically treating patients. As you embark on the next steps of your clinical training, I have a few pieces of advice that I learned from my professors while I was at UNE that I have continued to keep with me during my education. My first piece of advice comes from Dr. Larrabee. Time and time again, Dr. Larrabee would tell me and my classmates that dentistry is the most humbling profession there was, and he's right. He would say, you could be having a great week, and then all of a sudden, a patient that you thought would be very straightforward will humble you. Always remain humbled by your beginnings. As I have continued my education, I have found that each day I have a humbling learning opportunity in which I am able to remind myself of how much I have learned and how much more there is I need to know. There is always something new to learn. It's okay to not know everything. Remain humble. My next piece of advice is to try not to get ahead of yourself. While I was on externship during my 4th year of dental school, an oral surgeon told me that whenever I didn't know the next steps or I became overwhelmed in a complex treatment plan, it was time to head back to camp. I didn't really know what this meant. He explained to me that this is a saying that is used by hunters. It means that at the end of a long day without being successful, instead of continuing to try to hunt, it's best to head back to camp to regroup and make a new plan to be successful for the next day. In dentistry, it's imperative to understand when to stop, critically assess your situation, and ask for help. Sometimes stopping and resetting will guide you to your successful solution. This next one is from Dr. Moyer's rule book. Always do what is right for your patient. If you don't, you will have to make the time to do it over, and at this point, the task will take you twice as long. Respect your patient's trust in you as a provider, and respect your patient's right to have the highest standard of care delivered to them. Finally, do not be afraid to fail. Failure allows you to reflect on what worked versus what didn't, even more so than success. There will be times when you don't pass a competency or you don't do as well as an exam as you anticipated. You must learn from these failures. And most importantly, don't get comfortable with failure. Persevere through the difficult moments and become more prepared for your next challenge. Persistence creates excellence. To the UNE CDM class of 2026, congratulations on having the privilege of being part of the greatest career that exists. Be excited to enter a profession where you not only have the opportunity, but the obligation to be a lifelong learner. Remain motivated by your patients and your classmates as you start your clinical practice, and take advantage of the knowledge that your professors possess. UNE was an incredibly supportive and motivating environment for me, and it has helped me achieve my career goals. You will experience many challenges over these next 4 years, but what you make of the challenges will shape your education. Just remember, remain humbled by your beginnings, always do what's right, and don't forget to head back to camp when needed. Thank you.
Thank you for those wonderful remarks and great words of advice, Dr. Creed. I know you're very busy as a resident, so thanks for making time to join us tonight. We will now commence with the presentation of the white coats. The white coat symbolizes the initial entry of each member of the class of 2026 into our profession. It is a traditional symbol of compassion, professional training, clinical excellence, and it serves to remind us of the privileges and duties that we have as dentists and the responsibilities we have in service to the public. The official emblem of dentistry is embroidered on your white coats. The emblem was adopted by the American Dental Association in 1965. The intertwined triangle and circle are the Greek letters of delta, which represents the letter D in the word dentistry, and Omicron, which represents odont, meaning tooth. The central figure is a serpent wrapped around a cautery and 32 leaves with 20 berries, representing the 32 permanent teeth and the 20 primary or baby teeth. The background color of lilac was chosen as the color of dentistry in 1897 by the National Association of Dental Faculties. I now invite Dr. Boschman, Dr. El-Sahi, Dr. Kong, Dr. Kerr, and Dr. Shapira for the presentation of the white coats.
Is it all here? Yeah. With all the names. Okay. Welcome and congratulations. As I stand here, I'm wondering about my sanity in volunteering to say all of your names, so I hope you'll pardon me if I make an error, in spite of the fact that you've given me some nice phonetic spellings. Our class of 2025 representatives will lead the class of 2026 to the stage. I'll introduce each student, and they will proceed across the stage to receive their white coat from Dr. Shapira and Dr. Kong. The student will then walk to Dean Kimmis, shake her hand, and pause for a photo. Student will proceed across the stage, pausing to shake Dr. Kerr's hand and to receive an ethics handbook from Dr. El-Sahi at the end. After the student exits the stage, they will return to their seat and be seated. Guests are welcome to come forward to take photographs. Will the first row of student doctors please rise and approach the stage? Our first student, Haley E. Boscheman, Woodbury, Vermont. Amy Bagelu, Bristol, Connecticut. Connor D. Boyd, Alpine, Utah. Libby Bresnick, Oakland, Maine. Rylan Brown, Ausable Forks, New York. Hannah Marie Bruce Opris, Hallandale, Florida. Samantha Caldwell, Buckfield, Maine. Georgia May Cullington, Hooksett, New Hampshire. Bradley Dobbs DeBeer, St. James, New York. Alan K. Doe, Cypress, California. Mitchell Jason Duncan, Sanford, Maine. Alex J. Dyke, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Alexandra Elder, Staten Island, New York. Gwyneth Bryn Fifield, Moultonborough, New Hampshire. Kaylee Olivia Fossil, Hatfield, Pennsylvania. Isabella Christina Freitas, Dartmouth, Massachusetts. Joshua Keith Freenet, Chepachet, Rhode Island. Jody L. Griffin, Perry, Maine. Joshua L. Hall, Bloomington, Indiana. Nicholas L. Hersey, Greenfield, Tennessee. L. Hubel, Olathe, Kansas. Rajon T. Jerry, Audubon, Pennsylvania. Ben Richard Jones, Rexburg, Idaho. Dana Jawad, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Isabel Grace Kennedy, West Greenwich, Rhode Island. Carly L. King, Mechanic Falls, Maine. Madeline Rose Larimore, Rehoboth, Massachusetts. Jeffrey Brome Larson, Seattle, Washington. Cindy Lee, Boston, Massachusetts. Allison Marie Loach, Norcross, Georgia. Austin G. Lopez, Ripon, Wisconsin. Esther Susan Love, Bedford, Pennsylvania. Cameron Russell Malcolm, Woolwich, Maine. Brandon McGurl, Hampton, New Hampshire. Giselle M. McQuarter, Deerfield Beach, Florida.
Thank you so much.
Hannah Grace Miller, Du Bois, Pennsylvania. Savannah H. Miller, Flushing, Michigan. Michael T. Moody, Raleigh, North Carolina. Christine Carol Nelson, Merrimack, Massachusetts. Jared J. Neville, Rigby, Idaho. Sean W. Knowles, Somerset, Ohio. Deepa Patel, Columbus, Ohio. Shrina Rajesh Patel, Claremont, Florida. Samuel Pavlak, Westfield, Massachusetts. Tyler Jerome Pellerin, Oakland, Maine. Sarah Rusbahi, Charlotte, North Carolina. Alexis N. Rulo, New Fairfield, Connecticut. Adrian M. Rizak, Voorhees, New Jersey. Ashley Sapra, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Francesca M. Scopetti, Tetford, Vermont. Maher Bajaj Sethi, Southborough, Massachusetts. Jency A. Shaji, Sterling Heights, Michigan. Jamie Michelle Schrader, Flagstaff, Arizona. Carly Rose Simpson, St. George, Utah. Andriy Sokolov, Chernutsi, Ukraine. Elizabeth Alden Strout, Bolton, Connecticut. Amy Donnie Tong, Lufkin, Texas. Isabella Bors Tagawin Troughton, St. Clairsville, Ohio. Richard B. True, Gray, Maine. Amara Ugumba, Worcester, Massachusetts. Wassam Wassef, Asyut, Egypt. Alan Peter Wong, West Covina, California. Mary Yuzbashiva, Buffalo, New York.
Thank you to Dr. Boschman for taking on the hardest job of the entire ceremony. You did great. Audience, please stand and join me in recognizing the class of 2026 on their significant accomplishment. Please be seated. I would now like to invite Dr. David Kerr to welcome the class of 2026 on behalf of the Maine Dental Association.
Good evening. Congratulations. From the Maine Dental Association, I welcome you. And now that I have your attention, a typodont, which has my number on it, 562 from dental school. So at that time, gold was a big deal. But since then, in the last few weeks, I've scanned a tooth, milled a crown, done a cone beam, planned some surgery virtually. It's the greatest profession that you've just joined. It's exciting. I've practiced probably more years than you lived, and it's still an exciting day to get up and do something. It's always exciting. But you are the leaders of next generation and this generation. You are the policymakers. You are the future teachers. You are the ones that help our policymakers make decisions as to what's best for the patient. And I welcome you to join the Maine Dental Association and Organized Dentistry, because without that voice, the policymakers don't have the input. So it's really important that you get involved. All the members in Maine will be glad to have you call up their office and you can job shadow or whatever you want. But it's inviting you to join Organized Dentistry and be the future of dentistry. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for being here tonight, Dr. Curran. We truly appreciate your dedicated service to the profession. I would now like to welcome Dr. Albert Abina to the podium to lead our students in the Dentist Pledge. Students, as you recite this pledge, please reflect on the meaning of the words.
Good evening and welcome. As a newly inducted fellow in the American College of Dentists, it's my distinct privilege to recite the Dentist Pledge with you this evening. Please follow along in your program, stand, and join me. I, Albert Abina, as a member of the dental profession, shall keep this pledge and these stipulations. I understand and accept that my primary responsibility is to my patients. And I shall dedicate myself to render, to the best of my ability, the highest standard of oral health care, and to maintain a relationship of respect and confidence. Therefore, let all come to me, safe in the knowledge that their total health and well-being are my first consideration. I shall accept the responsibility that, as a professional, my competence rests on continuing the attainment of knowledge and skill in the arts and sciences of dentistry. I acknowledge my obligation to support and sustain the honor and integrity of the profession and to conduct myself in all endeavors such that I shall merit the respect of patients, colleagues, and my community. I further commit myself to the betterment of my community for the benefit of all of society. I shall faithfully observe the principles of ethics and code of professional conduct set forth by the profession. All this I pledge with pride in my commitment to the profession and the public it serves. Welcome, congratulations.
You may be seated. Thank you, Dr. Abina, for leading our students in this very important pledge. I now invite Dr. Michael Trescott to extend a welcome to our students on behalf of the CDM faculty.
Hello all. In the full disclosure department, this soliloquy is sprinkled with various quotes and lyrics from poets and luminaries that were gleaned over the decades, few of which are the speakers. So before embarking on your quest to matriculate into dental school, what did you envision your education and career choice would entail? You researched different occupations that interested you, studied a variety of subjects that ostensibly should prepare you for your next step in life, somehow connected with dentistry, and took the plunge. And now the ultimate goal is to become a healthcare provider specializing in the oral cavity. You are all worthy recipients of a seat in the class of 2026 by virtue of your GPAs, letters of recommendation, community outreach efforts, and the ways of means of cobbling together the tuition costs. But these are simply screening tools. They really account for precious little in predicting your success in dentistry. Mind you, success is measured in diverse ways, the most common being remuneration. Monetary reward is certainly gratifying, but at the end of the day, is meaningless. Having firsthand experience holding both parents as they passed revealed that neither were thinking about nor valued money at that particular moment. Money is required for our life adventures, of course, and profit is good. Profit allows us to repay our school debt, raise a family, support our houses of worship, educate our children, and hopefully support charity. But do not succumb to the siren song of amassing as much wealth as possible while the world passes you by. Dentistry and its profits should be a means to your end, not an end in and of itself. The fossil, presently speaking, has a 40-year jump on you in dentistry. And as in all aspects of life, the years teach us much what the days never know. So what have these years taught? They have taught that your heart, mind, and hard work are the stepping stones to success. In one opinion, success can be defined as earned respect, satisfaction, and happiness with your career and in your life. You are presently immersed in your biomedical foundational studies, and absorbing these concepts no doubt would qualify as hard work. Would you agree? However, these efforts pale in comparison to what is required to manage your office and staff, your patient's care, your work-life balance, raising children, or providing the same care to your parents when they need it as they did you in your time of need. There is no substitute for honest, hard toil, as it is a prerequisite for success. But to use a dental idiom, toothless without the other attributes mentioned. The harder you work at something, the harder it is to surrender. How do you use your mind to achieve a successful career? Above and beyond the knowledge base needed to be a healthcare provider, you will need to develop mental toughness. Mental toughness to study and understand your didactic coursework when you don't feel motivated. To practice those MODs in the simulation clinic until Dr. Dunn is satisfied. And then practice some more. Mental toughness to remain humble and accept constructive criticism in the proper manner. Mental toughness to ignore all the extraneous noise and distractions that prevent the delivery of quality dentistry. To deal with the frightened child. To maintain your composure with an ornery patient. And to balance the complexities of your work office culture. Mental toughness to concentrate on each and every procedure despite the chaos that may be swirling around you. You must have the heart of a saint, displaying compassion, genuine compassion for every patient you treat, regardless of their socioeconomic status, and treating each patient as if they were family. After all, don't we allude to a dental practice as a dental home for patients? You must also have the heart of a lion, unafraid to speak the truth, even if this places you against the grain of conventional wisdom, or if it bucks the status quo. The conventional view serves to protect us from the painful job of thinking. Do not be intimidated by groupthink and the pressure to conform. In short, be a leader. Leaders do not flinch in the face of adversity or peer pressure to follow the same well-worn path, because over time that road develops potholes. Followers simply avoid the potholes or fill them in as a Band-Aid. Leaders forge another road. There is one more ingredient required for a successful career, and that is professional and ethical behavior. No matter what transpires while treating your patients, never compromise your ethics. Unlike the OHC, there will be no authority peering over your shoulder to ensure you are doing the right thing. It is you and you alone that has to look in the mirror and make the determination that you did the right thing to the very best of your ability. If you cut corners or take the easy way out and can gaze in the mirror without remorse, you are in the wrong profession. The following sentence cannot be repeated enough. Ethics is something you do when no one is looking. Different cultures have different ways of remembering and honoring those who have passed before them. The ancient Egyptians built massive pyramids to place their revered leaders. Tibetan Buddhists employ sky burials. The Nordic cultures oftentimes used water burials, and so forth. In America, the most common method is the cemetery, where the spot of actual burial is marked by a memorial stone or plaque. On this stone, there are typically 3 inscribed items that are almost always present. 2 of them are the dates when the deceased wriggled into this world and when they passed. In truth, these dates are really inconsequential, only providing historical reference. The 3rd item is the short hyphen between the aforementioned dates, and that simple stroke represents the time between. Your legacy is what you accomplished in that period of time, and it will be the only opportunity for you to make a positive difference in the world. Will you use it wisely and positively, or will you be caught up in self-absorption and waste your allotted time in myopic endeavors? Wake up to find out that you are the eyes of the world. You are in a position as a person and as a healthcare provider to make the world a better place for all humanity. Don't waste the time represented by that simple inscribed line on your memorial. May you have a fair wind and tide as you set sail in dentistry and life. God bless and good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Truscott, for sharing such important words of advice to our students as they begin their journey. I would now like to invite Class of 2023 Class President Joshua Golden to share a welcome on behalf of the student body.
Does anyone know a good dentist? Because I've been having a killer toothache all day long. No one? No one? All right. Well, I want to first start off by also thanking all the veterans in attendance today, either ones that are going to be future veterans or ones that have served in the past. I'm not sure if everyone knows, but today is actually the 75th anniversary of Veterans Day. So again, thank you so much for your service to this community. Now, I wasn't able to bring up my speech because if I was allowed to do that, I really would be on the clock, and I wanted to bring up an entire stack of paper just to scare the faculty a little bit, but they were smart and had me send in the speech early. So welcome family, friends, faculty, and students to the Class of 2026 White Coat Ceremony. Class of 2026, I am so proud to see each of you rising to the occasion thus far, and I am encouraged by what your outlook will be in the future. So you might be asking yourself today, what exactly is a white coat, and where does it come from? Let us imagine ourselves in ancient Rome for a minute. Politicians, those who at the time were regarded as the smartest in the community, were given white togas. They're a symbol of knowledge and leadership. In fact, the word candidate of doctors or politicians began with the word candor, defined as the quality of being open and honest. In the Roman language, it was the word for white. Fast forward to the 1700s, where dark colors were chosen to be worn by doctors, as it hid stains. Most procedures ended lives, not saving them. Moving a little more forward, doctors visited became a formal matter. Wearing black coats resembled what we wear to fancy occasions nowadays. But still, things were unrestrained and disorderly. You better have your will in one hand and your first-class ticket to Afterlife Airways in the other. Now into the 1800s, the dark colors of centuries switched to white. As medicine improved, so too did the trust between patient and provider. A thought of a, quote, bad tooth didn't mean certain death anymore. These changes resembled cleanliness and purity with this coat that was and still is today only granted to the professionals who earned it. So general doctors were covered. Where did that put the real specialists? I'm talking about us, the dentists. Well, in the beginning, we must have gotten a little dehydrated when we immigrated to America because we decided to cut hair. That's right. The first American dentists were barbers, and they had white coats even before general doctors did. And as for that red and white barber's pole that we all know, well, that's from blood being dried on rags between patients. Luckily, we came to our senses, the poles became plastic, and the field of dentistry became its own profession. So here's my fourth-year student advice. Utilize each other's friendship, because over the next 3.5 years, you will see your friends from undergrad, high school, potentially even kindergarten, grow families, improve in their jobs, take vacations. But your time will come. Your true goal is to become a good dentist. But when setting goals, ask yourself, if your biggest wish came true, would it change your life or the world for others? Remember that if you can't do great things, you can do small things in a great way. We bet on each of you because we know each of you brings something important to UNE, and that's why you are here. Life unequally distributes obstacles, hardships, and backgrounds, but it equally distributes talent. Don't ever forget that. I love this profession and this school, and I hope you will too. In case you don't know, both of your families are here, those who have supported you and those who will. Life is like a mirror. You see, when I look at the crowd this evening, I see the class of 2023, just starting their journey. I'm sitting right there next to my fellow classmate, Chris Goding, and I'm in desperate need of a haircut, but we are excited to be receiving our white coats. I can see myself in that reflection, but the mirror, you, the class of 2026, you can't see the good times until they've sadly flown by, so enjoy them. You will grow a tail at the base of your white coats before you know it, just as a captain earns his stripes or a pilot earns her wings. You When you don this white coat today, you will take an oath to what's important about dentistry, showing empathy, leadership, and attachment to your community through service, lifelong learning, and ethical practice. But you must earn the DMD as you earn this white coat. From here, obstacles will appear. Times will be uncomfortable. Not every day will be easy. An airplane takes off into the wind, not with it. Remember, failure is an option because at this point in life, it leads to growth. While being unethical, closed-minded, or lazy, that simply will not. Your knowledge can never be taken away from you. So get ready for this period of transformation and rapid growth because dentistry is no longer the simple reaction equals extraction, drill, fill, bill. No. The world was afraid of us. Now our mission is to help those come and embrace us. The first white coat ceremony was held by Dr. Gold in 1993. And today we continue that journey here at UNE. We celebrate as Winston Churchill would want us to, not the end or the beginning of the end, but indeed the end of the beginning. One step closer to receiving those 2 letters in front of your name. Don these white coats today and commit to the profession so you can capture what white coats really stands for. Are you ready? Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Golden, for those thoughtful words of advice to your student colleagues and also for making the trip back from your externship site to be here with us this evening. Will the members of the class of 2026 please rise and face the audience? Family, friends, and colleagues, it is my great pleasure to officially present the future dentists of the class of 2026. Welcome to the CDM family of oral health care providers, and welcome to dentistry. Thank you. Please be seated. As we conclude this evening's ceremony, I would like to recognize the many individuals who have worked hard to make this wonderful event possible. First are our key professional staff members that organized and assisted with tonight's event: Rachel Collard, Drew Dean, Erica Gillis, Kelsey Harrison, Devin Landis, Elena Lipolis, Denise Mayu, Tom Mears, Anik Maytool, and Tanya Thompson. I cannot thank you all enough. Hard at work throughout the ceremony, capturing photos and streaming video, Jeff Scher and David Daddiego, thank you. Thank you to our fabulous facilities team for setting up for our event, and to Parkhurst, our wonderful caterers. And also many thanks to our amazing musical group, the Portland Brass. And last, a very special shout out to our Assistant Dean of Student Affairs, Mr. Travis Erickson, who silently leads the team organizing our events. This concludes our white coat ceremony. I now invite you to join us in the adjacent room for a reception. I ask that family and friends please remain seated until the faculty, followed by the students, have exited. Our faculty will be congratulating students as they exit the auditorium. Thank you all for joining us today, and thank you again for your support. Enjoy the rest of this wonderful evening.